Hot springs were really nice.
Feels like my body and soul are being streamed.
Take this! What? Yeah.
waste my time. Your life is mine.
There's more! To the very end.
Time to act.
A keen eye.
The insolent shall be punished. Where are you? Rain outlines your fate. Rain Cutter!
Take this!
This is Her Majesty's gift!
To ashes!
Submit out of my sight! Winter shall eventually come. Where are you?
still documents that need to be seen by the Commissioner. I'm sure the Kamisato clan will be fine.
So, this is the kind of place big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expected it to be snazzier.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guests.
Is this the Shirasage Himegimi you keep going on about? So, where's she at? Oh, behind the screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
Makes sense. She's a super important person after all.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, especially following such a long and wearisome journey over the sea. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation, and Toma assures me that you do indeed possess the power to change the tide of the times. At present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, the people's aspirations are being senselessly trampled underfoot. Though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds, given the contact we are required to have with them in the performance of our duties. A commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation without also remaining indifferent to our own fate. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can... Oh.
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
No, please! Wait! Please, don't go... I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes on my behalf.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a swordmaster determined to become the best in the world. Does Paimon got that right?
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will await your return here. Then you have my gratitude.
I'm sure you'll do great.
See, where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
Ah, you must also be here to try and convince Tejima to stay. Tejima has protected this place ever since he arrived here 30 years ago. Keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this place, and we all think the world of him. But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We can't help but wonder, was it something we did? We will gladly apologize if that's the case. All we want is for him to stay.
If you want my opinion, something to do with the Vision Hunt decree. It's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. After that, he became a completely different person. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a walk, alone, circled the village a few times, and then, out of the blue, he announced that he was going to leave and become a wanderer. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But equally, it doesn't feel right to let him leave when he's in this state. He's a lost soul.
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here. You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what true. But that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember anymore. Ever since they took my vision away, it's like a slice of my memory is gone. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now. So I thought, what's to stop me from moving around instead? The emptiness inside me will be there either way.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay, you won't need to leave anymore, right? But if you can't remember anything, it's not gonna be easy. Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then it'll all come flooding back?
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary? If you say so. I honestly can't seem to remember.
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting things. Things which would prove very important at a later date.
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima Tejima from leaving. We just need to find his diary. It must be around here somewhere. Let's take a look.
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary. We should head back to the village to inform the others of Tejima's situation.
This looks like Tejima's diary, all right. Let's see what we have here. Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I messed up and burned mine a little. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I searched the water the whole afternoon before finding out that Bamboo was the name of his pet crab. I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never going to get it back, so I just found somewhere to sit and... Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? What? I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. Now that's the kind of...
Like this all the time.
So this is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at... But anyway, if... somewhere that Tejima visited a lot. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima must be something pretty amazing if it made him... Looks like a letter. The Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? So the reason Tejima came here was to wait for someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Well, let's go give Tejima...
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. And I guess the Omamorian letter belonged to me too. But I have no memory of anything that's written in this diary. Still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here, and that I chose to wait for 30 years. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things that did. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Love? Regrets? No. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, her voice. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these... I think... maybe not. If this is something I waited most... Although, when I think about it like that, how curious. I shall remain here.
Tejima seems to be dealing... Seems it's just and Tomo were saying. If you lose your vision, you lose all your hopes and dreams too. That certainly explains the state Teijima was in earlier. At least we were able to help him, weren't we? Well, let's go find the next person. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission. They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. But why would they take action against one? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what...
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this!
Oh, huh? And who are you?
What? We heard the commotion and came to see what the...
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can... This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for distribution. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself. I just know it. We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors. He's the same as all the other samurai. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But maybe we should talk to Kurosawa.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be the poor man I am today? My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to. And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun. And that's why they confiscated my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt Decree. Why would you be unworthy of your vision?
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this unsettling feeling, like someone owes me something.
Does it have to do with the missing emergency?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by these two. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. If there were any emergency provisions to be...
but we better confirm. Let's go. We should be able to...
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean, besides that one house.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic...
You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after.
Another test subject.
No, my sword!
I got careless.
You're open!
Give up!
Aw, there goes all the Mora! We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss, think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you. Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for...
You've got a deal! Now show us what's in the box!
Huh?
What the?
There's nothing in here but IOU!
Yeah, a lot of them too! And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general... We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get... As for you guys, you're free to go. Just pray that our paths don't cross...
Yes. So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Does that mean we broke even?
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire about? Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're...
Whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here... How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he...
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual...
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long... So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people...
Wow. Kurosawa was purchased and no one ever appreciated what he did. They just
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances, in the face of hardship. If you ask me, Had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, if you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that in hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Oh, but before you go, if you would
But we...
Information. Don't worry. I won't charge.
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from. Plus, we found out that Kurosawa has a priceless sword. Let's go talk to Kurosawa. What are you doing here all by yourself?
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all purchased at your own expense.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was... This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. What did he say? It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many. All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. And said to me,
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
virtue and justice. Somehow those two words seem to explain taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need, and look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision, and the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's... In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah, seems like, fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next... The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Hyman heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong. But he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him.
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the...
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to,
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. But then we got here and overheard you talking about...
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so... You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. I see you are earnest in your... Sensei's name is Domon. A name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he once said that his goal was to become the best sword master. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He says the strangest things over. Junya and I have but if I'm honest...
The Grand Nar...
You haven't heard of it? Not that we'd have... So don't worry, Nanako. Since... The exorcism will take place this evening.